All right. So this chapter is going to be over minerals and rocks. We're going to start off today with just doing some basic information about the minerals. Tomorrow we're going to go into characteristics about testing minerals. I think back in like 5th or 6th grade, you guys did like the scratch test, the hardness test. Yeah, you remember that? Okay, so we're going to refresh you a little bit the next couple days in class. So tomorrow we're going to do some different tests. On Monday, you're going to do an activity with your partner where you're going to have to identify different characteristics of like 12 different minerals. And then on Tuesday, you're going to take what's called an unknown quiz. That means I'm going to give you 4 minerals, and you're going to have to do the tests to figure out what mineral it is. I'll give you a list of like 12 different minerals, and you're going to have to choose 4 of those that fit your categories of your minerals. So it's unknown because you don't know what the minerals are. All right? Okay, so what is a mineral? A mineral, you don't have to write all this stuff down on the notes. At least get the bold terms, S standing for solid. A mineral has to be a solid. That means it cannot be a liquid or a gas. So if you know what a solid is, you don't need to write it cannot be a liquid or a gas. It needs to be naturally occurring, which means it's made in nature. It cannot be man-made. It also needs to be inorganic. Inorganic means it's not alive. It never once was alive and then died. It is non-living. So inorganic means it's not living and never was. F is standing for fixed composition. Minerals are made up of certain elements or compounds, and that element and compound ratio cannot change. So if we have a mineral that's made up of H2O, it has to stay 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. It has to be fixed. Fixed means not changing. So the chemical formula cannot change. However, some of the minerals are just one element. Gold is an element that is also a mineral. It has to have a crystal form. So if you take that mineral and you put it underneath a microscope, you're going to see a definite structure in which atoms are arranged. So you're going to see a 3-dimensional shape. It could look like a cube. It could look like a hexahedral. We have something that's very, very simple, like a mineral called halite. It's just a cube structure. And then we have stuff that look like diamonds that's very complex. So we have all sorts of different crystal forms. We're not going to get into the crystal forms too much in this class. So the definition of a mineral, you don't need to write this down. There isn't a place for it, unless you want to put it up at the top. A mineral is naturally formed inorganic solid that has a definite crystalline structure. So I just took those 5 categories that we just discussed and I put it into a sentence about one definition. A naturally forming inorganic solid that has a definite crystalline structure. All right, I'm going to put some slides up, and I want you guys to identify if it is a mineral or not a mineral. There's 2 spaces at the bottom, so you're going to work with your table partner. Questions to ask yourself. Is it non-living? Is it a solid? Is it formed in nature? Does it have a crystalline structure? So taking these slides, you're going to categorize them as a mineral or a non-mineral. Okay, ready? So talk to your person next to you. I want you guys to explain why it's a mineral or explain why it's not a mineral. Okay, the first one, wood. Logan, you can talk to Taylor. You don't have to talk to the invisible Josh. Or Aubrey, if you want, you can go sit by him. And it doesn't really matter. All right, gold. They're easy. Topaz. Anybody know what a topaz is? Topaz is a gemstone. Bones. Granite. Quartz. Pearls. Talc. Icebergs. Up ahead.
That's a confuser. I don't know, I've never looked at ice close up.
Diamond.
Diamond? They find diamonds with
Pressurized
they cut them out.
rocks.
It was made. But I still don't know about
Coal.
icebergs. The icebergs is confusing. Coal's dead. What's icebergs though?
It's stuck on ice. Rock salt. Okay. Ready for some answers? Alright, all of my minerals. We have gold, topaz, quartz, talc, iceberg, and diamonds. Now, according to the International Mineral Association, iceberg is listed as a mineral. Ice is listed as a mineral because it fits into all those categories. So if you go through what is a mineral, go through those 5 categories, it fits into all of them. It is a solid, naturally occurring. It's not living. Has a fixed composition. It's always going to be water. It's always H2O. It's always made of 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, always. And it has a crystalline structure. So it does fit into that category. So that makes our non-minerals to be wood, because wood was once living. Fossil was once living. Bone is living material. Granite is a rock. Rocks are not minerals. Pearls, they are made by an oyster, so it's not nature made. Coal is sedimentary rock. Rock salt is a sedimentary rock as well. Now, kind of crazy, diamond and coal is made out of the same material. However, one is a mineral and one is a rock. So, and one is absolutely beautiful and one is not. So both of them are made from straight carbon. They're just compressed differently.
But isn't that from living things then?
Coal, yeah.
So,
They're straight from carbon though. Coal has a little bit of fossils in them, but
so is that like why it turns into coal instead of diamond?
yep. All right, so let's talk about the mining process. A mine is extracting ore or minerals from the ground. Now, an ore is a natural material with a high concentration of an economical value that can be mined for profit. Do they mine in this area? Do you guys know? Do we have mines in this area? Paulding. Okay, what's that called? It is a mine. Quarries are mines. Lafarge over in Paulding County. Paulding County actually has 4 mines. What do they mine for? What did you just say? Rock. So mining isn't always for coal or diamonds or something like that. They can mine for rock. They can mine for sand. We have 2 types of mining. We have one that's called surface mining. Where do you think that takes place? On the surface, or near the surface at least. And then we have what's called subsurface mining. I'm sorry, go back. Subsurface mining is obviously below the surface. Surface mining, mineral deposits are on or near the surface of the earth and are removed. There are 3 types of surface mines. An open pit mine is when they remove large near surface deposits of minerals such as gold and copper just by digging them. They don't actually have caves and stuff for this. And they mine them downward in layers. We also have quarries, which that's what we have in our area. Usually it looks kind of like a big hole, and they're just chiseling out stone, crushed rock, sand, and gravel. Again, all of this is for economical purposes. So they take this to be made into something else. So the quarries, why do we need stone quarries? Stone must not seem very valuable to us. However, we can put it into something that is very helpful to us. Like what? What's that? Gravel. Okay, stone and gravel are kind of the same. What do we use it for, though? Pavement, right? Make the roads, make your driveways. So concrete, a lot of them, next to the stone quarry, they have a cement factory. We have what's called strip mining. It removes a surface of coal in strips up to 50 meters wide and a kilometer long. So they should pull open the strips. I've never watched that show. Oh, I've never watched the movie either. All right, now subsurface mining are minerals that are located too deep for us to be surface mining. So this is a much more dangerous job. Those of you that are reading Rocket Boys, they do subsurface mining. Homer Hickam does in that book. This is where they have to create and build up shafts and passageways that are dug into the ground to reach the ores. So they usually have some sort of track system in it. It could be an elevator track. It could be just a track with carts so that they can go deep within the surface. Now, if they're going deep within the surface, something that's very important for them to have is have oxygen readily available. So some of the times in the book, when you guys are reading, you'll hear them say that they have to take an oxygen tank down with them, or they have to wear masks of some sort to help them breathe while they're down there. Now, the mines that recently collapsed in the past couple of years were subsurface mines. You heard about the one in Venezuela where they were trapped for almost 2 weeks. They actually, the first thing that they do when they build a mine is they have to create a safe zone. So they have something that is able to detect any movement in the ground, so if something is going to collapse. They had enough time, that particular one, the one in Venezuela, had enough time to actually make it to the safe zone, and they had food and water there. But it was like they were eating like mice. They had to have like 1 piece of bread a day, and that was it, and water. And they survived almost 2 weeks until somebody was able to dig them all out. I think there was 13 of them, I believe. There has been incidences where they couldn't get out, though. So subsurface mining, there's a couple different ways that they can do it. They can, if they have a big mountain head, they can drill straight across and create a track system this way. They can create a slope down further and then a track system. Usually the track is going to go from, as soon as they make the stability to get there, they'll have a track that goes underneath it and then up. And then they have something that goes deep down, which usually they would take an elevator down, and then the track system below down here. Mining, when they do this, it destroys the land around it and any habitats that may have occurred at that point. Not only just from digging purposes, but also the waste products that they end up putting in the air. When they do the subsurface mining, it goes deep within the water table. So once it hits the water table and goes below that, it can pollute the water systems and affect a lot of things, not just habitats, but it can get into our water as well. So usually next to a mine, they don't have houses anywhere nearby. When a mine is no longer being used, the land needs to be returned to its original state or better. It's called reclamation, reclaiming the land back to its natural habitat. This was actually made a law in 1975 that this has to happen. We are trying to better the environment by doing this. So once they remove everything that they need, they have to go back and try to plant trees, plant grass, put minerals back into the soil so that it can help it be reused. Now I have a picture here. The top picture is of a once mine in Alberta, Canada, and 10 years later they were able to reclaim it back to, so this is all the dead ground and then the dead trees, and now they were able to grow grass and the trees are starting to come back. I should get a more recent picture. So why do we need mines? Every American born will need 3.6 million pounds of minerals, metals, and fuels in their lifetime. So this last sentence is what you need to put in your notes. 3.6 million pounds of minerals, metals, and fuels in your lifetime. That's a lot. We need salt. Okay, we need salt in our body. Helps us survive. They have to mine for salt. Copper. They take copper and they can make it into some of our money. Gold for our fancy jewelry. Coal, a form of fuel that we need. Iron, cement, natural gas. All of this needs to be mined for. So why do we need them? Well, we need them for our houses. Not just to build our houses, but to also heat our houses. We need fuel for our cars. To create toothpaste, we use minerals that we mine for. Any plumbing, wiring, that material that they use to make the plumbing pipes and the wiring, it is mined for. Some of the metal and steel that's in a plane comes from minerals that are mined for. Electronics, jewelry, glass. Glass is made out of sand. You have to mine for sand. This would be a surface mining. There's a saying that says if you can't grow it, it has to be mined. Do all of you guys know your birthstones? Do you know your birthstones? Anybody have a January birthday? What's your birthstone? And what color? It is a red. So January, you have a garnet. It's this red right here. February, any February birthdays in here? February has a purple amethyst. It's really pretty. All of these are gemstones that are minerals. They can be mined for. A March birthstone is aquamarine. Any March birthdays in here? No. April. April is the diamond. Any May birthdays? Birthdays coming up, huh? You guys have the emerald. June. June birthday. Will you go grab a sucker? Because I'm not going to be around to give you a birthday sucker. No sucker? All right, I have little pops up there. All right. June is the pearl. July birthday. You guys can go get a sucker if you'd like, since I won't give you one for your birthday. Is the ruby red. I have the box of little pops up there if you guys want one. August birthdays. Any August birthdays? Peridot, I think that's the ugliest one ever. You can have a blow pop as well. September is my birthday month. I think we have the most beautiful birthstone, the sapphire. Beautiful blue. October has a tourmaline, which is like a pink color. November is pretty ugly. It's orange, topaz. And the December birthday, you'd think that that one would be emerald, but it's tanzanite. Very pretty. So all of these minerals, these gemstones, need to be mined for.
There really no ruby? I think ruby would be one of the first times.
Oh. Tourmaline. Is opal a type of? Says opal too. That I think opal is really pretty. I like that. All right, I'm going to pass out some minerals and show you guys some different characteristics of some minerals. Tomorrow we'll look a little bit further into them and test them.